being impressive. If you're trying to impress people, that's something totally different. That could be showing off, it could be bluster, it could just be plain foolishness. And a lot of times it can backfire. I know there are a lot of average people out there living average lives, and they're perfectly content doing what they're doing and being average. But let's just say that you don't want to be average and you want to be a more impressive person. Well, the question we're going to ask is, what makes an impressive person? And I'm just going to explain some elements or some steps that I think uh, are necessary to become a more impressive person. And this is specifically for you if you do not want to just be average and lead an average life. If you're really looking to be the best you can and to be a shining light in the world, then I want you to hear this and understand how you can take these steps to become a more impressive person. So, let me just start by saying that I am Mark Johnson, the founder of Bounce Pep, bringing you a fit and flourishing future. I'm also the youngest son of Bill Johnson. I would like for you to go to www.bouncepep.com. Scroll down to the bottom of the homepage. Go ahead, enter your email address, and that will subscribe you to our email list. And then you'll receive helpful emails, things that will help you level up your life. We're not going to be sending you a bunch of spam and junk mail. We just send you information that can help you be the best person and the best version of yourself that you can be. Sometimes we'll send you a promotion, but the promotion is to help you be the best person and the best version of yourself that you can be. So with that said, let's talk about what exactly makes an impressive person. Right off the bat, I think I should clarify something for you. Being impressive is very, very different from trying to impress. Being impressive, in fact, is not about trying to impress anyone about anything. Being impressive is essentially a state of who you are. It's a state of being. It's literally being impressive, okay? Being impressive. If you're trying to impress people, that's something totally different. That could be showing off, it could be bluster, it could just be plain foolishness. And a lot of times it can backfire because people a lot of times can see through when another person is trying too hard to impress them. So if you want to be an impressive person, don't try to impress anyone. Okay. You're really missing the point if that's the approach that you're taking. Now, with that said, there are going to be 7 things here. Okay. There are 7 elements to being an impressive person. You can think of them as building blocks. So what that means is that we're going to start at the foundation at the bottom, and then we're going to work our way up, through each of these building blocks. And once you understand each of these building blocks, and then you start to apply, what you're learning about now, then you're going to slowly but surely get on the path of becoming a more impressive person. Just understand that it doesn't happen overnight. So there are going to be 7 elements, and I'm going to explain them essentially as building blocks. What that means is that we're going to start from the foundation and work our way upwards. And when you get an understanding of each of these building blocks, and then you actually apply this and you begin to work your way upwards, then you're going to put yourself on the path to becoming an impressive person. So the first one is this: intent. The foundation of everything is intent. So all intent is knowing exactly what you want, knowing exactly what you want to do, where you want to go, what you want to accomplish. You have to have intent. You have to live an intentional life. Okay. If you are scattershot, then you can never be an impressive person because you have no focus. And if you have no focus, you cannot have any discipline. It's just without focus, it's impossible to have any kind of discipline or commitment. It's just impossible. So we have to start with intent. Know exactly what you want to do and who you want to become, and take that to heart and make it your mission to get there. Okay? Intent. That's the foundation. Now, the next step above that is going to be what we call repetitions. This is the point at which you actually take action. But repetitions are so important because a single action a lot of times won't accomplish very much for you. The truth of the matter is, it's hard to become really good at something. It's hard to become excellent at something, and it's not easy to actually be impressive. Okay? But you've got to be putting in repetitions, much like when you go to the gym and you're lifting that barbell and you're just doing rep after rep after rep after rep. Okay. But you're putting in the reps, and what you're doing is, well, you're doing, you're learning, and you're adjusting. So you do some reps and then you learn from it. You notice how you feel. You notice the effect, right? And then you make adjustments. If it wasn't effective, then you make adjustments to make it more effective so that every rep matters and every rep contributes to your growth, your development, your advancement, your progress. So repetitions are very, very important. You've got to be willing and able to put in the reps. So that is the second building block. What is number 3? Consistency. Consistency. This one is fairly obvious, but it just needs to be said. Um, Obviously, you cannot be erratic. You cannot be whimsical. Just, oh, well, I think today I'm just going to do this. And then tomorrow, oh, well, I'm just going to do that. And the next day, it's something totally different. And you're just all over the place, not consistent. Okay. You can't build any kind of momentum without consistency. So obviously, repetitions are a huge element of consistency, but consistency is more about over time, doing something repeatedly over time, like a pattern of behavior over time, being consistent and just sticking with it even when you don't want to. Discipline is kind of another word for consistency. And you have to have consistency because you're not always going to feel like doing what needs to be done, but you do it anyway because it's the key to getting to that next level. Now, let's go to the fourth building block. This is competence. So, you're intentional about what you're doing. You're putting in the reps. You're staying consistent with it over time. And eventually, you actually become pretty good at it. That's what competence is. It's when you become pretty good at what you're doing. And let's face it, if you're no good at what you're doing, you're not going to be very impressive. The beauty about the fifth building block is that it comes naturally out of the fourth building block. So we just discussed competence, which is actually being good at something. When you are actually truly good at something, then you will develop confidence naturally. And confidence is simply knowing that you're good at something. Now, you don't have to go and brag and boast about it. It's just your own awareness that you're really good at something. And that engenders a real sense of confidence. And confidence is so important because so many people lack confidence. And it really boils down to two problems: ineptitude and ignorance. Anytime you are inept and ignorant, then you have the recipe for a low level of confidence. And so that's why you have to build competence to overcome ineptitude and ignorance. And then once you build that competence, then the natural byproduct is like a genuine sense of confidence, knowing that you are good. And this is important because when you have confidence, then it magnetizes people to you, unless you have a terrible personality. But that's another conversation. So I'm just assuming here that you are generally a pleasant person to be around. Then having confidence, not cockiness, but having confidence will definitely magnetize people to you. People will be more drawn to you. They will want to be around you. They will trust more in your actions and in your words, and you will be able to lead people, in fact, because they have more trust in you. Remember, towards the beginning of this kind of pyramid of building blocks, we talked about repetitions and consistency. So don't forget that you've been putting in the reps and you've been staying consistent this entire time. Okay, through all of these steps, right? This is continuing. So even after you develop competence and you become confident, you're still putting in reps and you're still staying consistent. And that takes you to that next building block of being impressive. And that is excellence. So you've already gotten pretty good at it, but you keep getting better and better and better. And you deepen your knowledge, you expand your knowledge. In other words, you keep learning more and applying what you know and getting into the minutia and going further into the details so that you gain insight, not just understanding, but insight, right? And you are able to understand exactly what you're doing, understand exactly the effect that it has, and apply it in a way that will take us to the next level. And that next level is impact. Impact. This is the seventh and final building block. Impact. Now, impact is not about you. I want you to understand that very, very clearly. Impact is about affecting the world in a positive way. Now, the world, I'm using it as a figure of speech. But what I really mean is affecting something bigger than yourself in a positive way. It could be 5 people. It could be 100,000 people. It could be millions of people. But you're impacting something or someone bigger than yourself in a positive way. And when you have impact, when you're an impactful person, people can't miss it. You may be low key and you may be modest, but eventually people will find out precisely because you have impact, and that can't be hidden for very long. Okay, so understand that even though you may not be bombastic or seeking attention, when you have impact, people will notice it and they will be impressed by that. People are impressed by other people that they know, or other people that they see, or other people that they're around who have an impact on the world. Okay. Now, impact doesn't have to be strictly about impacting people. There are people whose purpose in life is to save the planet. Or I've seen shows about people trying to save the cheetahs, or save some animal out in the wild or something, right? That's impact as well. It's anything that's bigger than yourself that affects the world in a positive way. So I want you to think about how you can have an impact on this world. And remember that very, very first foundational step that we talked about called intent. When you're thinking about intent, think about the impact that you want to have at the same time. Okay? Because when you know the impact that you want to have, then it's going to strengthen your intent all the more. You're going to be all the more convicted about what it is that you need to do with your life. Okay. And I just want to close this out by saying finally that, again, being impressive is not about trying to impress. Being impressive is a state of being. Okay. People will notice, people will react to it because you are simply it. You're not trying to do it, or to project it. You are it. It is a manifestation of all of the time and the effort, the consistent, like the dedication that you've put into becoming who you are. That's what being impressive is. So I hope that this made sense. And I hope that it really, really helps you, especially going into this upcoming year. I want you to take this with you, and I'll talk to you next time.